What is up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Beyond Borders. Today we are diving into another Poland video of things that you should not do in Poland. So we are going to jump straight into the video and get into it.
Let's do it.
Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World. Today we're in Warsaw, Poland for things you don't do when you are here in Poland. And I'm going to get started, not even with number one. Before we even get started with number one, I'm going to start with number zero. The thing you need to know before you come here is don't tell or call the Polish Eastern Europeans. You will not make any friends saying that. If you look on a
We actually got a lot of those comments.
People said don't refer to them as Eastern Europeans. But tell us why, why?
We didn't. It was just someone that did in the previous video that we reviewed. They referred to Poland as Eastern Europe, and everyone was like, no,
it's not
Eastern Europe. So,
I wonder if it's like a sensitive thing. We don't know, but don't do it.
On a map, you'll see that Poland is actually in the center of Europe, a little bit north, but it's in the center of Europe. And they like to be called Central Europeans, not Eastern Europeans. So I want to get that one out of the way first because that's probably your quickest don't really upset people. Why. So remember, don't say Eastern Europe,
central.
Okay? Now, when you're going to meet the Polish people here, our second, or I guess our first don't for you is don't shake hands or say goodbye over the threshold, like in a doorway. People really don't like that. So either make it choose your side. Are you in the door or are you out of the door when you shake hands and say goodbye? Just one of those little things there. And if you do get to meet some Polish people and they invite you to your home, when you go there, if you see they're wearing slippers or they're not wearing shoes, you don't wear your shoes in the house either. It's kind of rude there.
But that's also like in Germany as well. Like when we visit friends or Germans, they don't wear their shoes in the house. I think it's like a normal European thing.
I feel like it's actually good.
It's good because you carry so many toxins and like bacteria and stuff on your shoes. And in South Africa, it's definitely something that I wasn't used to. I mean, I'd walk around everywhere with my shoes, but yeah, since being in Europe, it's definitely something that we see a lot more prominent, like leave your shoes outside of the apartment, or most apartments actually have like a rack on the inside, and then you pop your shoes off, so it makes sense.
Poland as well.
Yeah.
That way, so just three quick little ones to start off with, just to give you some ideas of hospitality here in Poland. So our next don't for you has to deal with the language. Look, don't underestimate how helpful a few words of Polish will be for you and your...
That's one thing that Sinead did really well in Szczecin. She learned thank you and hello in Polish, and you could see it went a long way. Like they were very excited and inviting to hear when you speak their language. So I think it's just out of respect, I guess.
Your visit here, whether you're up in Gdansk, you're down in Krakow or Lublin or wherever, because we all know that no one watching this video probably speaks Polish unless you're Polish by ancestry. And the thing is the Poles know that, so they learn. They see a lot of people speaking English or German or Russian and stuff like that to help out the tourists. But the thing is, if you know a few words in Polish,
obviously not the time of year to visit because it's raining and it's cold, but it's probably in the winter time, but I mean, it's still a beautiful place to visit.
It really opens the door. Like, people are really happy, even if it's just like dziękuję, which is like thank you, or prosim, which is please, or piwo, which is beer. I remember I was like, piwo, prosim. They're like, oh, hey, they were so happy with it. And it really goes a long way to open up the people because you'll notice that people seem kind of dour and quiet and stern sometimes, and that's one way to open them up, okay? Now,
I wouldn't say they're down. I just think Europeans are generally more reserved, but I mean, we've seen it with the Germans as well. Like if you show an act of kindness and take a bit of interest in them, they're actually very nice people.
Absolutely. I think in any country that you visit where the native language is not English or your native language, at least you should be able to say some basic phrases, like learn hello, goodbye, thank you, please.
I think it makes it a lot easier to interact with individuals then.
And also it shows some respect and interest, especially to the people who are in Poland and can't speak English. So, at least it shows that you're trying.
Definitely.
Now our next don't for you is don't worry about busting the bank when you come here to Poland. Poland is an extremely affordable country to...
We've been seeing it in all of our videos that we've watched thus far, and we can second that because when we were in Poland, it was substantially cheaper than most European cities. Actually, it was the cheapest European city or country that we visited. But some people say, though, that the Polish themselves don't earn enough to be able to afford luxury stuff. It's more people coming outside of Poland and then coming in with money.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the whole world feels like where they live, they're not earning enough to live comfortably over there.
But
I mean, I feel like in Europe, in Germany as well, you know, I think we feel like we can't really spend what we want to spend and go where we want to go.
I think the cost of living,
is just...
It's low in Poland, but at the same time, I think the salaries are not high enough.
Yeah, the salaries and the cost of living never go hand in hand in any country, I feel.
To visit, hotels, eating, drinking, all kinds of stuff, making merry. It is really cheap here. Also,
it's one thing that we didn't get in Poland. We wanted to was a Polish dessert. We had the national dish, pierogi, but we didn't get a dessert.
Going to the museums is really affordable as well, so it's a nice place to check out. That's why when you go to Krakow, they get 10 million tourists, from high-end tourists to low income, not low income, but people that are spending a lot of money on tourism because it's not an expensive place to be. So that's kind of a cool thing. Now, my fifth don't for you kind of goes along with that cheap eating and drinking. Don't drink in public in Poland. Look, you can get arrested or fined for drinking in public.
I think people have the misconception that Poland is like Germany, where you can drink a beer in public, where it's actually illegal in Poland. And that's one thing we found out when we were there. You can't just drink in public.
Now you see this nice square here. Yes, you can eat and drink at the restaurants and the bars like that, no problem. But if you're going to take some wine or a beer, the local beer, which are pretty good here, and go take that to a park and drink there with your friends, you can get in trouble with the cops. So make sure you do not drink in.
And Polish police, they are very stern.
What is the most popular beer in Poland? Is it the Tyskie?
Tyskie, I think, is like a very popular beer.
Because I know you drink that one all the time.
It's a very good beer. It's a very good Polish beer, Tyskie, and you get it. What's Tyskie? Actually, I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's a good beer.
In public. To go along with that, don't forget you need to have an ID with you all the time. If you don't want to carry your passport with you, what I do is I'll actually have my driver's license from home and a photocopy of my passport with my passport locked up back at the hotel, so you do have that, because the cops could ask you for it if they really wanted to. They usually don't bother the tourists, so it's not that big of a deal, but just in case, so you know.
Now,
I carry my passport. We carry our passports wherever we go in Europe, just because you don't want to get on the wrong side of authority and not have it when someone actually needs it. But at the same time, it's just scary carrying it with you, because if you lose it...
Oof, tickets.
Yeah.
Stone for you is don't try to pay with big bills. Now, big bills are like 50 zlotys or 100 zlotys, like 100 or 50. If it's like under 20, because people ask you, oh, do you have anything smaller? They're always going to ask for a smaller.
The thing I also anticipated, I thought when we went to Poland, it was going to be in euros, and they've got their own currency that you basically have to use. What's nice is it's not as cashly dominant or driven. You can still pay with a card and stuff like that, but they prefer cash, like most European cities.
Smaller bill. The thing is, when you go to the ATMs, it gives you 50s and 100s. But when you go get a beer or something like that, it's 7 or 8. I'm like, oh, do you have some smaller bills? You have some smaller bills? So when you go to museums, you go to big stores and stuff like that, use the bigger bills there, the hundreds and stuff like that, to break them into 10s and 20s, so then you can go get your little snacks. Maybe you want your little Polish donut, or you want to go get a hot dog or something like that when you're here, or just grab a beer. You need that change, okay? So don't use the big bills here, right? Another don't I have.
I think we saw that when we were there. When you go to those small shops where you could grab a beer or snack, they prefer you rather pay with smaller notes.
Don't forget to tip when you are here. Usually you tip 10 to 15%. 10% is normal, 15% of it's good. But you can look on the menu, and some restaurants already put that 10% on there. I know the place I waited here on the square. Remember, you're not going to bust the bank, so didn't feel ripped off because it was so cheap. The 10% was already included.
I feel like that's the one thing we didn't do enough when we were there.
Try enough Polish cuisine. Probably the next video that we're going to do is look at Polish cuisine, because I think we just did the national dish and that was it. We didn't really dive into the rich culture and cuisine which is Poland and what they do.
I feel like another thing that he should have mentioned here about the food, or probably going to mention, but don't insult the Polish on their food. They seem to be very passionate about their food and their tradition.
But their food is good though. So.
It's good. There's nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, don't do it.
Included, she was very nice and helpful. I gave her a little bit extra on there. No big deal, okay? And going along with that, when you pay your bill, they'll always ask you to pay with credit card or cash. And if you're going to pay with cash, if you put the money in the little thing and give it to them, don't say thank you, unless you want them to keep all the money, okay? So let's say, you know, you got 110 bill and you give them 150, you say thank you or dziękuję, they'll think, oh, a 40 tip for me, and they'll just walk away with it. You need to tell them, here's this, then they'll bring your change back, and then you leave your tip like that. So you have those things there. What I try to do is just have the tip already there. Now you might tell them, look, I want to pay 140, and so they'll just have the tip from there and give you your 10.
I think the easiest is just be clear. Just say, like, if the bill comes to 100 and you put 150 in, then just say 130 and then give me 20 change.
In South Africa, they used to give you the bill. They wouldn't add any tip to the bill. They give you the pen, and then there's an area that you can write what will the total be. So you can add your tip in.
I think they do that as well.
To the total, but
I
not
can't
really.
remember.
We don't in South Africa really put cash down and then they go and bring your change back and then you give them a tip. Yeah. That's not really. We just write the amount and then they bring you your change.
Yeah.
10 back if you have 100 and a 50. No big deal there. My 10th don't for you is don't be late. The Poles are actually pretty much an on-time kind of people, like their German neighbors. If you're going to be late...
Germans are precise. Like, if they say 8 o'clock, it's 8 o'clock. Don't rock up at like 8:30. I think the South Africans...
It's a big sign of disrespect.
Yeah, it's disrespectful. Like in South Africa, I think people take it for granted, you know. You say come at 7 o'clock and they rock up at like...
people arrive at like 8. Not cool.
I like
it. If something starts at 7, be there at 7.
Yeah.
If
be there earlier. Yeah, exactly.
To somebody's house you're going to visit, make sure you call or text them or WhatsApp them before so they know you're running behind.
Tell them.
Because it's kind of rude to be late when you are here. I mean, we were at the museum. I was at the museum this morning, and it was supposed to open up at 10. The guy unlocked it like at 10:01, and people were like, "Come on, it says 10 o'clock. Let's go." You know, so you do have that there. So make sure you are on time.
It's like the trains. If the train is late by like 3 minutes, people are upset, you know.
You've got places to go and people to see, and you cannot wait around the whole day for a train or a museum.
Yeah.
So stick to the time. I think that's all people want.
And my last don't for you is don't fall for the nature tourism propaganda in Poland. Look, you'll see lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of tourism videos about the nature of Poland. And there are some beautiful natures here.
All the videos that we've been seeing is of the nature and of the landscapes and all that. So it's funny he mentions it.
Just mountains in the south by Zakopane when you go, skiing in the in the winter. You can go to the Masurian Lakes in the north. It's just beautiful. There's a castle there. There's all kinds of great nature here. But look, if it's your first time to Poland, focus on the cool cities that are here.
Yeah.
Krakow is amazing with the
Everyone says Krakow or Gdansk. Like that's been the predominant two cities that people say go visit. Start there and then break your way out and then go and explore the rest.
The town square and the cloth hall and the churches and the Wawel Hill, and you can go out to see Auschwitz and Birkenau, the concentration camps. It's a very moving experience. You can go up to Gdansk in the very north and see that city. It's beautiful. Lublin. Come here and check out Warsaw, and you can get around pretty easy. Don't worry about getting around. I guess would be another one. Don't worry about getting around in Poland. There's lots of buses and trains.
I think what most people do is they take a train because it's the most easiest way to get into Poland, and then you can rent a car there if you want to go into like the historical sites that are outside of the city.
Go all over the place. It is a big country, so it does take time, but don't be too worried about it. Anyway, those are some of the don'ts we have about Poland. I actually have another don't video just for Krakow.
So that is the video of the don'ts of Poland. I think it's pretty like self-explanatory. I think if you got respect and you are a good individual, I think it's stuff that you should do. But it's always nice to know when visiting another country, I think, of things that you should look out for, things that you should be mindful of, just let you pay that extra bit of respect.
Absolutely, and I think when he mentioned don't fall for the nature, attractions or the advertisement, I think the best thing that you can do is meet up with a local or arrange with a local and ask them what to do, where to go.
So many people have been commenting saying we should come to Poland and then they will show us around. So maybe that's something
We'll
that
take
we do.
someone up on that offer.
We maybe take them up on the offer because they know all the best spots, you know. But this is the video. I'm starting to love, the more and more I watch Poland videos, the more I'm starting to love it even more.
And if
Can't
there's-
wait for a couple more videos to watch. I think the next one we'll do is definitely cuisine.
Yes, and absolutely, if you can think of any other, you know, don'ts, if you are from Poland, and things that you know people shouldn't do or signs of disrespect, please drop it down in the comments below so we can be more
Mindful.
educated and mindful when we do go, which will be soon again.
So yeah, that is us for this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit that thumbs up and smash the subscribe button. Until next time, this is Beyond Borders.
Over and out.